Hello, it's Mrs. Dickerson again. In this video, you're going to learn about citing resources. Anytime you use a book, a magazine, an encyclopedia article, a web page, a picture, anything that you did not create in a research project or homework or a poster or a presentation or anything, anytime you use anything, you have to give credit to where you found it. That is what citing resources is. For this particular assignment, for your research paper, you're actually for the first time going to be creating a works cited page where you have a bibliography entry for each item you use, one for each book, each web page, each encyclopedia article. Everything you use, you will have an entry for, and I'm going to show you a resource that will help you create those entries. When you go to create your entries, you'll start by going to our web page, our district web page, and go find Glen Oaks. And on this one, you're going to want to go to Curriculum Connections, 5th grade. And under General Links, about the third down is what's called BibMe. That's the site that we're going to be using to help create our bibliographies. You'll notice the tabs across the top say Book, Magazine, Newspaper, Website, Journal, Film, or Other. These are the different tabs that you will use depending on what type of resource you are needing to create an entry for. Let's start with a book. In each one of these, it has what's called an autofill mode or manual entry mode. You can try to look up your item and have the information put in for you to verify. If you cannot find it this way, then you can come to the manual entry mode and put it in yourself. But let's try autofill and see what happens. I have a book about Henry Ford called Driven. So I'm going to put this in. Find book. All right, found my book, and I'm going to click Select. Now, to make sure that these different fields are right, I want to show you where in the book you find this information. The very first thing that's listed here is the book title. So if we go and we look at the title page of the book, which I have right here, the title is Driven, a Photobiography of Henry Ford. Let's see if that's the title, Driven, a Photobiography of Henry Ford. Perfect. Let's skip this section here and now go down to the authors. It has the author's name listed as Don Mitchell and Lee Iacocca. Let's go back. By Don Mitchell with a foreword by Lee Iacocca. So those names are correct, and they are both there as authors. The next information that we want to look at is this right here. Who published it, where it was published, and the year it was published. So we're going to look for that information now. If we go back to the title page, right up here it says National Geographic. I'm sorry, this is the cover of the book. National Geographic. It is very possible that's the publisher. Let's look at the title page and see if we can get some more information. Usually the publisher is listed right above a city, which is where it was published, and right here it says National Geographic, Washington, D.C. So that leads me to believe that it was published by National Geographic in Washington, D.C. So if I come back over here, I look for publisher, National Geographic, city of publication, Washington, D.C. So that's correct. Now I just need to double check the year of publication. If I come back over here to the title page, there is no year on the title page. You actually have to go to the back of the title page, and you're going to look for a symbol that looks like this. It is a C with a circle around it that stands for copyright. The year that is listed after the copyright symbol is the year the book was published. So this book was published in 2010. So if I come back to BibMe, I see it was published in 2010. Perfect. That is wonderful. All this information is correct. So now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click Add to my bibliography. Now, over here, there are a couple of different things that you can do. First of all, you can change the format. MLA, I think, is the most common, but as you get to middle school, you may have teachers that want a different format, and you can change that. You can download your bibliography straight into a Word document. or you can save it for future use. If you choose to save your bibliography, you will have to create an account. You'll notice up here at the top it says register or log in. You will need to create an account if you want to be able to save your bibliographies in the future. I'm going to wait to download it until I have a few more entries. The next one that I'm going to do, I don't have any magazines that I had found on Henry Ford or newspapers, so now I'm going to go to websites. I'm going to go out and find one of the websites we looked at in our last video about Henry Ford. All right, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to look at this, thehenryford.org. The Henry Ford is a museum. Lots of things going on there. Let's see. I think that this one's not going to be as helpful to me. I'm going to go back and choose the other one. Oh, this was the one I wanted right here. The one that said exhibits, because it's the one that talks about Mr. Ford himself. So I'm going to click on this link and I'm going to click copy. I'm going to come back over to BibMe and I'm going to click paste. Now, I didn't highlight that, so I have to get rid of that. Make sure you highlight over that. And I'm going to click load information. All right, now it found for me, here's the web address. The page title is The Henry Ford, The Life of Henry Ford. The website title is A Michigan Family Attraction, The Henry Ford. So those are all great. It filled it in just great for me. Let's double check and make sure that's right. The page title, Henry Ford, The Life of Henry Ford. And then the website title, let's go back. The website title is, I think this is the same. I think these are all linked together. The website title you see right here, A Michigan Family Attraction. So it looks like if I go to exhibits, that is where I will find the link about Mr. Ford himself. Let's look and see. Just kind of going in a different way. I'm just sort of curious exactly where it's linked. I don't know. So I'll go back to where we were. Okay. All right. Let's pull this up again. Sometimes you have to go back to where you were to find what you need. All right, so now the other thing that it's asking here is the sponsor or publisher. Who, I wonder, is kind of who's in charge of this particular website. So let's go down here and see if we can find. It says the Henry Ford is an AAM, an American Association of Museums. The museum complex is independent. Okay, so the sponsor is the Henry Ford Museum. Now, here is the most important thing of all, and it popped it in for me right here, so this is really good. You absolutely must have the day you access the website, and the reason why that is important is because information can change from day to day, so you never know exactly if it's going to be the same. But if you put exactly the day you went and looked at it, if teachers were to go and check the information again, they might understand if you've accessed it much earlier than they're looking at it, that the information might have changed. So when you have all of that in there, you click Add to My Bibliography, and it's there as well. So I have both of my links here. Now I'm going to go ahead and download those. See right here it says, do you have an account with BibMe? I do have an account with BibMe. So you have to have an account to even download it. To either save it or download it, you have to have an account. If you don't want an account, let me show you what you can do. You can simply highlight both of these. You can copy, and then you can open a Word document, give it the title Works Cited, and then you can come over here and you can paste them. The only thing you'll want to do is you'll want to backspace and get rid of these little circles, and you'll want to get rid of the X and the pencil. We don't need that. So there are your two entries. Now, the last thing I want to show you has to do with Britannica and EBSCO. When you go to Britannica and EBSCO, they actually give you the citation. It's very, very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our back to our main library page so that I can get to Britannica. Library Media Center, research links. Let it buffer for just a minute. It just takes a moment. Click on here. Britannica and EBSCO do exactly the same thing. So I will show you in Britannica. If I look up Henry Ford, when you click in the article right here, right over here, this last little circle I didn't show you earlier says Cite Article. If you click on that, it brings you right down here to the citation. You can even change the format, but we're using MLA, so all you have to do now is copy it, highlight it, the whole thing, copy it, come back to your Microsoft Word document, and paste it. Now, the other thing you may want to do is you might want to get rid of some of these little things right here, these little, I don't know what those are that come in. You can click on those, kind of clean it up a little bit. It's a lot easier to clean it up than it is to create it all by yourself. So you can clean that up. The other thing that you can do is you can make all of this the same font size. So I can come here and I can choose Times New Roman, and I can make it all 12 or 14. You don't want to do it too much bigger than 14. Notice that I have at least one space in between each separate citation. We are going to have another session about citations, a little bit more detail, some refresher and some review as we go along. But I strongly encourage you, as you begin working on this research project, that you use that bib.me and you open a Word document that you save in your number called Works Cited, and you begin to put these in as you go along, because it will be so much easier on you to not have to go back and recreate this at the end. If you choose not to do that, that's fine. You just need to keep track of every book, every Britannica article, every EBSCO article, and every web page that you use information from. And in a few weeks, we'll have another lesson that reminds you and reviews with you how to put that all together, how to download it or save it, and how to print out a Works Cited page. I hope this gets you a little information on making sure that you keep track of where you found the information. And if you have any questions, you can always check with me in the library.